Yeah. Okay, let's cap this. I should have only one pipeline, so I definitely should only have one line that says that the pipeline starts. Got to escape that one. Yep. So this is the only pipeline that I have. Wait, we just highlight it. And then we are creating, let's see, add characteristic. I have 3 of those, I think. So this is 1. I'm having 1 here as well. Oh, it's factory handle. Yeah, it's thread pool 7 calls first handle, and that then calls constructor, and that then calls pipeline factory add characteristic. So probably should look at a factory handle, because that's a templated add characteristic function, and then you can see the actual type. And we have the base pipeline characteristic and the vertex pipeline characteristic range. And finally, we have the fragment pipeline characteristic range. And that's all. That looks correct. Register add vertex shadow width. I think that each of these characteristics are a task as well, and they should be started at some point. think they're started by the pipeline factory from, yeah, here, initialize. So now we're running, although, no, I'm not sure. That's it. No, this is creating another task. Move new pipelines. Wait fully initialized. I guess this one, this is the one, initialized, yeah. Because here you see they are being run, all three the characteristics. And I want to follow them as well. It's not clear which is which, I suppose. Doesn't say that. Yeah, the first one is this one. That's the base pipeline characteristic. Shall I follow that one as well? It's not really doing much, so then might as well follow it. Let me highlight that one, and as well highlight this one. Yeah, doesn't want to. And finally, this one. Vehicle expressions are turned on. Okay, so they're all highlighted now. Pipeline, base pipeline characteristic initialize. Feel like I have to memorize what these pointers mean. This is the factory. 26010 is the factory. This is the base characteristic. So to think that it would be more readable if I had an indentation while inside a running state. It says running state of and then no indentation, but this is really done from within this state. Shall I do that? Shall I add that? Or some kind of marker like this one? What would be a good marker for stateful task state execution? No, get it for now. I mean, so initialize runs characteristic range initialized. and then finish, I guess, because this must be the base, which doesn't do much. No, it's just terminating here. Then we get the vertex pipeline characteristic range task that is running this state here. Initialize, and that is doing, and it's calling add vertex input. Add vertex input bindings, to be precise. Copy shadow variables. It's adding instance data and position, and vertex data and position, and vertex data and texture coordinates. Yeah, during initialize, you're not allowed to do that during fill, I think. So even if the fill index values change later on, then this is still the only strings that I have to look for in any shader code. Although it might vary which I find, I guess. But yeah, now we get characteristic range initialized. Wait for do fill. Then the fragments pipeline characteristic range is run. That adds a push constant and a combined image sampler. Top. And another add combined image sampler. Bottom 0. And that's all, because you only have one pipeline, and this pipeline is only using a single fragment shader, which is only doing only using bottom 0, not bottom 1. So we call characteristics initialized, because there was the last characteristic. They're all initialized now. Logical device, create sampler. Wait for do fill as well. Running pipeline factory characteristics initialized. Create an object textures top dot m sampler. Do fill, do fill, wait characteristic fields, entering, create image. This is, I don't know what that is. Blue. Create textures. It's just some other thread doing stuff. Wait for the pre-process. We have the fill index 0, but I don't think it's doing anything there. Just printing that the fill index is 0. Get image memory requirements. That's the blue one. Let's ignore that one. Pipeline factory characteristics fields. Well, I was thinking like I missed one, but both of them have printed already. Both being the vertex and the fragment state. The basic one doesn't have a fill index, it's not a range. So we only have two characteristics that are a range. This one, pipeline characteristic range, and the vertex pipeline characteristic range. And fill have been called on both. Index is 0 for both. And then we are done. It is we have all of them are filled, and then we can start with pre-processing. So the factory runs again with filled state. It then calls prepare shader resource declarations. Fill set index hints. Now that is an important function with regard to what I wrote in the description at the end. This determines how we decide how to divide the shader resources over the descriptor sets. And I told it to not put top and bottom in the same thing. So very bad if we do that in the same descriptor set. Something is wrong with this color, really. I think this should have been purple as well. It should already have been purple here. It should just align too late. Shader resource. Yeah, it's uploading textures, but it's not related to what I'm looking at. Create sampler, blah 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 blah. So this is really weird here. This is really weird. Why would this halfway switch to white? Just don't. Oh, that's my console is screwed up. So press Control L and it turned all blue. Yeah, this I'm viewed, so also not really interesting. Well, I still have too much debug output written to certain channels to be able to just suppress all debug output related to IMGU, I think. Not even sure what I'm waiting for now. So way too much debug output. Create buffer, create graphics pipeline. Oh, the IMGU pipeline. That's what I mean. Very confusing. Resource pool, containing its preprocess. Still IMGU. I think this is what we were waiting for. Continued with thread pool 4. It finally decided to put a 0 in the first place and 1 in the second place. That took a long time. But, okay, now we can continue. Entering add shader stage. Prepare combined image sampler declaration. Okay, so now decided in which script set it will output what, it generates the declarations of all the shader resources. First we did top, now we're doing bottom 0. And then, wait, bottom 0 here, still set key to shader resource declaration, bottom 0, blah 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 blah. Add push copy. Add push constant, copy push constant ranges, and vertex channel, update vertex input descriptions. Pipeline backtrack, characteristic range preprocessed. Okay, let's scroll a bit down. This is the first time that it does it, so it does everything. Wait for do compile. Pipeline factory characteristics preprocessed. Okay, all of them now have been preprocessed. So we can start with compiling. Create pipeline layouts. Yeah, so this is generated. Just the declarations. What I'm worried about is that maybe as a result of some other shaders, the set numbers could change and enter the binding numbers. But I am not sure at all. Got a feeling that maybe it's not possible. But we'll see, I guess, because that's the other one. This one does not have descriptor sets. Just locations were generated here. Okay, what happens next? It's IMG. Okay, so this is one of the characteristics here, and that waits for our do fill. So I guess it's completely done, and yes it is, because it told the factory, it said the factory is 26010. It tells the factory that it was compiled. And we should see that the other one as well. There's another do fill here. Characteristic range compiled. I don't think they want to run yet. I want to see this. We'll see that creation request. Okay, I guess we're done here, and we create the graphics pipeline finally. I'm confused here. Why are we running finish on the pipeline factory? The only reason I can think of is that we only have we don't have a range. So 0, 0 is the only value, and we just finished it. One byline. Totally finishing. Byline factory is destroyed. There's no more hope for any additional range. Okay, we're dead. Well, doesn't really matter. I mean, the start is going to be the same, although I thought I already had a range. Tests, textures, window.h. Yeah, the range is set to no range. But how many of these things do I have? This is vertex pipeline characteristic. I guess I have a separate one for the other one. Yeah, it's also set to nothing. Well, in that case, let's just make this on a 2. Then what will happen is that this characteristic is going to run fill twice now, so we get to see if fill index is 1. And then I guess all hell breaks loose. It's not going to work. Though, even quarters. Yeah, okay. Is this still the case when we use characteristic range? No, apparently not. So we have fill index 0 and 0 for both the characteristics. And then the fragment pipeline characteristics is restarted with fill index equal 1. And then this is being called again. Even that is very dubious. Yawn. I'm logged out again. No, I'm not logged out. Oh my god, there was a peak here. I'm just looking at stock market. Why? No, let's not look at the stock market. Hello, Mr. Russian, I think. Fill index equals 1. Yeah, and then I have no clue what is going wrong here, right? I mean, I think we just doing everything again. And we shouldn't. Entering pipeline factory characteristic range filled. Okay, so we do nothing during the fill state. This one here, we do nothing except printing that now the fill index is 1. So we're done. And we tell the factory that we are now filled. Is that correct? Yeah, I guess it's correct. That means that we did not change the input. I mean, we didn't do anything, so we didn't change the input. So whatever follows is double work. We should not do it. Still, it is going to wait for the preprocess signal. So it's getting ready to preprocess the shader while I didn't even change anything. It should not do that, of course. I mean, yeah, difficult. Maybe it can wait for that signal, but it should not really start doing preprocessing again. That is silly. But okay, let us wait anyway. Pretend that we're going to preprocess, but then maybe use a cached result or something. But if we don't do preprocessing, then I don't think anything else can be changed. So we might as well skip the compile state step as well then. Depending on what we changed. Now in this case it didn't change anything, but what if I did change something? Then maybe I need preprocessing and then find out that nothing changed. It's way difficult. Pipeline factor characteristic field. This is the same task. The pipeline factory is now that thing. I'll just highlight this, I guess. Why is this all white? Why is this white? I'm not using white for threads. But okay, whatever. Thread pool 0 is white. And then it isn't. Now it's blue. Well, I guess. I mean, that means that this thread pool went back to the thread pool. This thread went back to the thread pool. And then it was woken up again or just continued running, doing some other task. I guess. But, yeah. Well, I mean, after a wait, you have to return. So it did return. And then it started running again. Maybe something else. I don't know. That said Blue Shadow, you can't wait till get to this level. Let's hope it won't take you 28 years. Because you would miss life if you can't wait for decades to have passed. Anyway, the fill set index hint is called again. I don't speak that language, Captain Cool. Yeah, really, I have no clue here. So yeah, the fill index changed, and then we get here again. Filled. And that calls again, prepare shader resource declarations. Generate descriptor set index hints. Realize all shader resource declarations. Combine image samplers and uniform buffers and add their members to mshader variables. Seriously. You cannot do that every time a new field index is there. Hello. Prepare shared resource declarations. So this is the output. This is the output. This is the output of this block. It's even printed what the output is. And the input is therefore, I guess, only this. Only this, only this. This is the input. I don't think there's any other inputs. Let's go to this function. It's still a member function. Pipeline factory. On the logical device, but that won't change. Sorry. That was our input. Now we create a new partition task object. Yeah, there should not be any other input. Let's just m underscore finds all the members that are being used. Owning window, logical device. Okay, so this is the only input, I think, to this function. Did that change then? Or maybe I should say, when does that change? It changes here with an mplace back when add shader resource is being called, and then it changes here with it doesn't really change. I think we just resort it. That might have an influence. Yeah, it is being resorted. Why do we do a resort? Then if nothing changes, it's changed. The use resources need to have some global order for the horse race algorithm to work, sorting them by shader resource pointer base. Shader resource base pointer, I mean, will do. So if it didn't change and the sorting won't change as well, then I guess I have at most added new stuff. Yeah, so the place back is one thing, and then here it's being sorted again. Most importantly, then, if the first one where the in-place back is being done is not called, then the sort, if it is called, wouldn't even change anything. That's a read lock. It's not changing it. Read lock, write lock. That's our in-place back. So the only way that is changing is when add shader resource is being called. Which is only called from these two functions, add combined image sampler and add uniform buffer. And I'm pretty sure there's even an assert here telling me only to do that from I don't think I'm allowed to do that from the fill stage. I want to verify it. I think I have something. Yeah, here. Well, I was thinking about this boolean, but now I'm not so sure anymore. Initialize is true. But this is what I just said. What? I just missed that. Add shader resource. No, I was looking at something else. This is not what I was looking at. Pipeline factory add shader resource. Oh, this is the list. I must have been looking at it. Here's the in-place. And this is the assert, and for some reason I didn't see the assert a second ago. But then again, I'm pretty sure there was something, another function below here. Okay, now I'm so confused. Oh, I'm confused. That thing, right? Okay, I guess I unconfused myself. I just did not see the assert. Okay, so indeed, this is the only function that changes this vector here. And we can only get here from calls that are done from the initialization state, not from the fill state. Explicitly says so. Therefore, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever to redo work that only uses this as input more than once. Let me have a look at that again. So it should be called here, I guess. Yeah. So this is called multiple times because it is in the filled state. And it begins with calling something that can never change. So we should never ever do this, I think, more than once. But okay, then we just end up with the same set index ints. And then we still do more in this function. This as a for loop that runs over over that list. That is that list. No, wait, it's something else. What the hell is this? No, that is that list. I would use as input here. It's read locked, it's not changed. I'm doing it. Oops, I'm using it again here. Ideas running over the same list again. Getting some index, which is then used to get the pointer from that list that didn't change. That's basically described in the description, quick clips. It's not that the title says read the description or something like that, but what is in my throat? I had a good day on the stock market. I just wish I could show you. Well, I am going to show you. I just have to screenshot-ish before all kinds of personal information gets on it. So this is the opening, right? I sold the stocks at 637. So 37, that's like here. Sold at 637. After that it went to 639, I think, but okay, you can't have everything. Then it opened at 629.5, while I did not have them. So yay, no loss for me. Then it went down, 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 down. And the bottom was 613.2. And I bought them again at 613.5. So that's like there. Awesome, isn't it? Pretty awesome. Absolute maximum gain here. But yeah, it's a never-ending problem, you know. Then you have them again, and then you don't have them again. And the question is always when to sell, when to buy. I don't know. Now the question is when to sell this. Because if I don't, then maybe it just goes down, and then I didn't make a gain, or it goes way up, and I don't sell them, and then it goes way down again, and I didn't make the gain that I could make. So you never get a break. But okay. Pom 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 pom. Yeah. So we have here I need to concentrate, guys. No chatting. You can say hello, Swagart, but that's it. Let me work. Index equals, so okay, that's the index. We get this, also const, read locked. We get a const shader resource. No new shader resources have been added. And then we do iterator boolean pair, the result of insert or assign, into that thing here. Well, the shader resource we already saw, so the key already exists. So, but it might change it if the key exists. And set index hints of that index is whatever this function did. And this function should return the same thing because the input was the same. So this assigns a value that already exists. So there's no need to do that again. And second is not set because it was not inserted. Because it already existed. So you skip this. So this hold up is not doing anything. My conclusion is that the prepare shader resource declarations should be called once and only once. And not every time. But we can only call it, I think, after all the work that is normally done then before the first time we do this, run this state, it has been done. Now I think that if the send to fill signal is set, then we have to deal with the range, otherwise we don't. Number of running characteristic tasks. No, it just means that there is even a single characteristic range task that needs a fill signal. So we only wait for that if there is at least one characteristic task that is doing something, and then, well, then we have to wait for it. If there is nothing, we can just continue. So that's not really the problem, I think. If we come in here from the fall through, or because the state was set to that, and then we waited for this signal, and then that signal came. That's still from this block, and that block is, oh, that is the top multi, wait, that is the multi-loop while loop. Do I need anything that is being done here? That is just the range counter stuff, isn't it? And I'm not using that. Am I? No, I don't think so. Well, ignoring the goto, which I think is only being called a second time or something. Well, this is really difficult code. Even I don't never understand it, but it's mimicking a dynamic number of for loops that are inside each other. So if you just don't look at the code and close your eyes and think, okay, this is just a for loop, and then another for loop, and another for loop. And then by the time we get to the inner loop, we are here. Then this will not happen, you know, I mean, because we always get in the inner loop, unless there is an empty loop, which would be nonsense. That's not the case. required shaders will list clear. So yeah, at the top of the for loops, each characteristic is sent the signal that they can run again, and they have to do the do fill. And then after they did the do fill, I mean all of them have finished doing the do fill for the first time, I'm running this. And that seems a bit weird, because really that does not use anything even. That is, no, it doesn't use anything from the fill states. Maybe I used to think that that was the case, but it's just not. I don't think, no, it's not the case. So I think I can do that whole thing before even entering this state. Before even entering this state. I mean, I can do it here. As soon as all of them are initialized. And here we start with initializing those for loops. I call them range counters here. So I think I can do it below this debug only thing. Instead of here. I'll add what I just figured out here as a comment, I guess. Note this function only uses input from add what? What was add share resource? Yeah. Which in turn is actually then being called by one of these things here, but maybe I should name them my name, or I shouldn't. No, let's not do that. I should by now know where the shader resource is. Yeah. A4. Took me only 1 hour to move that single line. We're not done yet. It still crashes. So it didn't really change anything, except not calling a function that did the same thing anyway. So I guess I'll have to look at the to be continued. So now we are here and we do not call that one function again, but we are doing this again. And the question now is, of course, is that then necessary? The number of characteristic tasks, we're counting again the number of tasks that need preprocessing, I guess. So they are just being sent a signal, do preprocess, and then we just do all the preprocessing. We wait for that. Okay. Is it possible that there are no such tasks? Because if that is the case, then we would wait forever here. I think chance is very, very small, but it's theoretically possible, I guess. I mean, it's the same thing as here. Only wait if we expect a signal back. It would at least be slightly more robust if I added that. So maybe let me think. Is that possible that we do not have any characteristic at this point that needs preprocessing? It's not really possible the first time, I think, because that would mean that we don't have any shaders. But maybe after a fill, I could maybe change things that cause us to not need preprocessing anymore. Although I'm not sure if then I want to not go to through these states here. So let's say we do not need any preprocessing at all. Would I just want to fall through to preprocess? Begin pipeline layout creation. Yeah, I guess we need to do that then. Oh, this looks wrong. Set index hint map clear. No, that's not wrong. It's being filled again here. Hey, Omnic. Hmm. You are hope. Me? As usual. Yeah, as usual. I don't like the question, how are you? But I'll try to answer it. Stock market closes in 7 minutes. No, it goes on another hour, doesn't it? No. God, now I don't know when the stock market closes. It's a 70 right? Yeah. So it's in 7 minutes, yeah. Okay. Sell or not sell? Very difficult decision. I think I'll keep it. Yeah, I'll keep it. I'll keep it. Nothing but a complete stock market crash can make this bad. So currently at not enough gain. Okay, I'm just locking out of the stock market. Yeah, that works pretty well. My heart. No, more like my intuition or my analysis. I seem to be very good at this, I think. I just can't help myself thinking that I'm very good at it. Hell, I was able to predict a roulette table. Did I ever tell you that story? I think I'm on a list now. I went to the casino for, let me think, I think 10 times. Only 10 times? Probably. I went to the casino 10 times, and every of those 10 times I went out with a gain. I only had a gain with the roulette table. The total chance was a 1 in 100. And of course, it's just silly. I mean, I'm a logical mathematician guy, but I wanted to have fun, so I allowed myself to think that I could predict it. Yes, so I was like, the ball's rolling, and I was intuition, feel. I think now that is coming. Chance 1 in 100 that I had was right. Yeah, I never lost. Well, I put in €5 every time, and then 20 times on one afternoon. So in total, I put in €100 on the whole afternoon. Statistically, you lose 1/37th. Doesn't even matter how you put it on the table. You just lose statistically 1/37th. So 1/37th of €100 is a cup of coffee worth. So I was in the warm, nice music, nice people, the whole afternoon for the price of a cup of coffee, statistically spoken. But instead of losing a cup of coffee, I made gain, and not a little either, sometimes. I even went to the restaurant to eat a dinner of €30 one day because I had so much gain. No, don't. That's a really bad idea, Omnic. It's a really, really stupid idea. It's up there with smoking, really. Don't do it. It's a true story from the past, but I've spoken with a lot of people, right, in my life, including a lot of people who had a lot of problems, including people that were addicted and alcoholics and God knows what they all had. And I'm just curious, so I just, I wanted to know how that kind of thing works. And one of the things that someone told me once was that a gambling addiction is worse than a cocaine addiction. It's worse than hard drugs, he claimed. So one of the reasons I was doing this, just one of the reasons, but it made it interesting, is to observe my own psyche. So it was a psychological experiment to see how the thought process were when, I would head in a gambling addiction direction. And it was very interesting. For example, because I kept winning, I thought to myself, why am I not going to put more money in it? I could do it with 1,000 euros a day instead of 100 euros. I didn't do that, but it was hard, and it was very interesting. You feel that thought. You feel that you're like convinced that you're winning, and you think, why? If I had put down 50 euros every time instead of 5, I would have had a gain of 200 euros instead of 20. Why not do that next time? That's a very interesting thought, and I think the only reason I could fight it is because I'm extremely logical guy. To me, it's like statistically you lose, period. So it's 100% stupidity to put on more money. Never put more money than 100 euros. Never. So if you would say on a given day, yeah. So if you put down 100 euros at once on black on white, that's stupid, because that's really stupid. No, of course you don't gamble, and that's a good thing, because, statistically you lose. That's by definition the gamble thing. So it must be worth it. You must know how much will I lose, and then you must make it worth to lose that. But if you put your 100 euros down at once, then statistically you lose 1/37th. But it's psychologically not sane to do that, because you get the excitement of just one time, and you run the risk of losing everything. And if you lose everything, then it was stupid, it was not worth it. And if you win, you double it, then you become addicted, because then you're going to do it again, of course, until you lose it anyway. So what I did was I put in the minimum amount, so that was 5 euros, you could not put in less. So you put in as many times as possible. So 100 euros divided by 37 is acceptable, that is a cup of coffee. Never put in more. The minimum is 5. Therefore, you put in 20 times 5 euros, if you get what I mean. And then the final question is, of course, where do you put it? You can also calculate that, because what you want is, say that statistically the chance that you lose a lot more than that cup of coffee must be small. So I put it on 6 numbers. So if you use that system, maybe you are allowed to do it once. Just 20 pieces for 5 euros. Put every time on 6 numbers at once, and that 20 times, and never ever do more than 100 euros on a day. If you ever start feeling that you want to, you start telling yourself, like, I should put more than 100 euros tomorrow, then you have to you have to stop. You really have to stop then. Because then you're losing track of rationality. I don't think I ever did throw one single coin into one of those machines, you know, with the handle on it. They're not even gambling anymore. They're literally computers that are programmed to make a gain. There's nothing gambling about it. It's completely 100% impossible to make a gain with those machines. Not even with luck. I mean, I really, on the roulette, okay, that's one thing. But those machines, the owner can program then with how much gain they will want to make. So if they put it in a cafe and all their gain comes from selling beer, they don't want to piss off the customers, so they get a little gain, and the machine is just there to entertain their guests. And in another establishment, they program it differently, and they get more gain. The machine looks on the outside the same. I've never been tempted to throw anything in a machine like that, because it's just throwing away. You just know, you throw in money, a piece disappears, probably everything. And what do I get back from it? No excitement whatsoever. I also never bought a lottery ticket. The lottery is like the worst possible thing. They have very big prizes, so people just fall for it. They have the very idea that they would win $1 million. But the chance to win that is so incredibly small, you can hardly imagine it. So if you just look at the statistics, I think a lottery is losing half of it. So 50%, you lose 50%. Is it really worth it to buy a lottery ticket of, say, 20 euros, lose 10 euros of that, guaranteed? And then do you get from those 10 euros the thrill, watching television? And then the moment that you start watching, you think, well, maybe I'm going to win $1 million. If that feeling is worth 10 euros, and you're already addicted. So never start with that. It's horrible. I have to put my chicken out of the freezer. I'll be right back. Yeah. Anyway, I think I'm going to stop streaming. I think I'm going to stop streaming because I started chatting again, and just no concentration left. I have to concentrate. So maybe next time I'll just not watch it, chat again, because I cannot make any progress.